Show with Jody
and Alex Muziak.
And today we're going to talk about something that I don't feel is talked about enough. I know it's definitely getting a little bit more talked about, but we still feel ashamed when we talk about this a lot. So we're going to talk about depression. I'm even going to throw in some seasonal depression or seasonal, like sad, so seasonal
depression,
affective disorder.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder, yeah.
So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the importance of getting help when you need it. So, Alex, would you like to take it away?
Yes. So I'm sure I've shared on the podcast a few times a little bit of the journey I had through my own anxiety and depression. And if I didn't say so before, I'll state it now. Jody was there for it. Not at the beginning, but definitely through a major bout of it. And she stuck with me through it, and that definitely helped. But it is, we don't talk about this kind of stuff enough. I mean, there's Bell Let's Talk Day in Canada, and where, it's like corporate sponsored, like, try to get it out there and get more people talking about it. And a lot of more companies are doing it, but in general, it's just the kind of thing that people don't like sharing about. They don't like talking about because there's a stigma around it. It's hard for lots of people to understand. I know when I was going through it, like the first time it happened, it was almost too much for my parents. Like they couldn't understand what was wrong or how to help, or and there's definitely a feeling of powerlessness within your loved ones, because they generally can't help you through it. It's not that kind of thing.
And that's why it's so important to reach out to somebody that is a professional in that field, that somebody that is, prepared and has those tools to help somebody. Mm-hmm. I encourage that so much, because so many people have a hard time asking for help in that area, like going and getting, professional help. Or actually, I don't even like calling it help. I like professional support.
Yeah.
Because that's really what is needed, is somebody that has those tools that can understand depression and even like seasonal disorder, affective disorder as well. Anybody that has that understanding can help so much more.
Yes.
And it's just, but some people have, and I included, have a hard time reaching out for help. I've definitely talked to a therapist twice, 2 different times. The first time, I think it did take effort for me to do it, because then I felt like I was weak. If I'm asking for help, then I'm weak. And like I mentioned on Coffee Chat the one week when I talked about winter blues, because I experienced seasonal affective disorder, or at least the winter blues. This year has been really hard for me, but other years, like, it's just like a little case of the winter blues. But the thing is, when it's not weak to ask for help, it's the strongest thing you can ever do, is to get help. You don't need to go through this pain alone. And it can be very dark. And then when you are in that darkness, you don't think you can get help or different things like that.
Yeah, you're already feeling pretty low. It's hard to motivate yourself to do anything. That's a big problem with depression. And that's why depression and anxiety like feed off each other, or at least they did in me. So like I would get depressed and I wouldn't be able to do anything, and then my day would evaporate, and then I'd feel anxiety about the next day, and it was just a cycle, and you just kept spiraling. So it definitely takes courage to ask for help, and that's why when you ask for help, you're not being weak, you're being strong. Thankfully, during that last bout of it, you were around and you helped, as much as you could in your own way. But what you really did is you helped me get help and support outside of the people I knew, or the people that knew that I was going through this. More people, more professional people who are used to dealing with it more often.
I have to say, I'm very grateful that you did reach out for help elsewhere, because there is me who's like, think positive thoughts and affirmations. And I personally at the time, even though I went through my own depression as a teenager, I had like bursts of like, I wasn't like depressed for a long time, but I'd have these little pockets of depression here and there, and went through it all by myself, which I highly don't recommend at all. I had some guardian angels, I think, looking out for me in my teenage years because, anyways, so pretty dark times some here and there. But the thing is, for me, when seeing you, I was just like, well, why don't you just think positive thoughts? Or I'm like, here, read Louise's Hey, here, heal your life. But that's not what you actually needed in that moment. And that's why I want to emphasize that you reach out to people that are actually, this is their thing. Like, this is what they specialize in, is depression and things like that. Because even for me, like, I wouldn't take on a client that, like, it's not that if they're depressed, I would be more than willing to work with them as long as they also have a therapist and work side by side, like getting them on the different, I work differently than a therapist.
Yes.
So it's just, I definitely know a lot of people that have a coach and have a therapist. But somebody going through depression, I highly recommend having somebody that's very specialized in that area.
And when it comes to asking for help, you're going, like, if anyone's out there listening now who's like, or knows someone who's going through this kind of thing, it's important to get them or yourself help soon, or sooner, as soon as possible. And also and this might be because it was like not the first time I'd gone through it, but to realize that the person or professional you were in contact with who is supposed to be supporting you may not be giving you what you need. Just like how you were like, just think positive thoughts, or here's some books to read. And I did try that stuff too, right? It just wasn't working.
Well, it depends on, like, if you're in a really dark place, you're not going to take it in.
Yes.
And actually, there's something really cool. And it's actually something I do, is I work with the emotional scale. So when you're really low on the scale, you're in a really dark place. Like, you're heavy and, I was actually just re-listening to Gabby Bernstein's Super Attractor, and it's a similar scale. It's an emotional scale as well. And it's from Abraham Hicks. And it's just about, like, you can move up the scale really quickly. But that doesn't mean you don't deal with your emotions. You deal with them at a higher vibration. So even just seeing somebody and getting help will take you that first step. And then that's why you could work with two. You get a coach and they move you up in a higher place too, with a therapist, like doing both. But the faster you move up that emotional scale, you can act from a better, a more powerful step.
Yeah, a more empowered place.
Yes.
And that's good that you brought it up, because that's in essence what was happening. I sought help out, and I guess that I didn't have the terminology at the time, but I guess what that did is help me get up a rung on the ladder, as it were. But then that person couldn't help me anymore. What they were suggesting that I do wasn't helping anymore, right? It wasn't getting me any further up that ladder. So you ask for help again.
Yes.
Right? You find someone else. Just because you found one person to help you doesn't mean that they're going to help you through the whole journey.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to emphasize too, this isn't just about, actually, we started out saying like it's about depression and sad, but I actually remember we were planning on having this just about asking for professional help. And so this doesn't even have to be if you're sad or depressed and you just maybe, or like, say you're not like depressed or you don't have a seasonal disorder. What about if you just had a breakup or a divorce or, your job change and you just have that, like, you just need to talk to somebody. It's about asking for help. And you and I actually had what was it? We had a relationship hiccup.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say a coach. This was not a coach.
Fair enough.
This was a very, we had a relationship hiccup. I knew deep down I wanted children and you didn't. So you had to figure it out. And then we actually went to a therapist. And this is where you need to listen to your gut. This therapist, I'm not sure where he was coming from. He was clearly not professional. He pretty much told me to break up with Alex on the spot. And just the most horrible, and he actually separated us from the relationship. Like, we didn't actually counsel together. He's like, I want to see you guys separately.
Right.
He went behind your back and told me to break up with you. It was like the most, and I actually remember getting off the phone. Like, I was devastated for one, getting that information, and then I actually called a friend. I got a sound, like a soundboard that was not, it was a friend that I knew I could trust. And her opinion, like, I knew she wouldn't come from her own place, because that's where that therapist was coming from. He actually shared me all about his life story, about his bad relationship and how he got divorced because of all this, and like it became a reverse coaching session. And at that time I wasn't even in this industry. Like, this is years and years, like this is almost a decade ago. But I walked away from him. Like, I knew deep down that this was wrong. So you have to sometimes, unfortunately, listen to your gut. And I know if you're in a depressed state, it's really hard. So I feel like you could use a buddy. Have somebody that's a really close friend maybe come by and make sure that the person that you're going to be counseling with has your best interest at heart, because these people are human too.
Yeah.
And it's just a good coach and a good counsel of some sort, therapist. They need to remove themselves from the situation. They should not be putting their own emotions into it. Now, that being said, when I coach with people, I share my stories so they know that they're not alone and they understand where I'm coming from. Like, so we build rapport and things, but you have to know, like, and coaching and therapists are different. But
there's a difference between building rapport and
telling you what to do,
and telling you what to do, or and yeah, in this case, this particular therapist or counselor. Let's call him therapist. Counselor.
I think he was a therapist, though. Anyways,
like, this is all stuff that I did not hear, that he did not relate back to me, or any of that kind of thing. So yeah, needless to say, we didn't continue any kind of interactions with this professional. And when you're at a lower rung on the empowered scale, that might be hard to discern, but you can keep working with that person until, like I said, until such a time that they are no longer helping you anymore. And you need to then, if you are not where you'd like to be, and you're like, no, I can see the next rung, or I want to get higher, or whatever else, then you just need to find another person to help you reach that, and they're out there.
And other times, though, you can actually be with the same person for a long time and just be with them. Like I always say, you got to do what feels right to you. Like, maybe that person that I felt was a horrible, like he had a really bad vibe coming off and stuff. Maybe he changed other people's lives. I do not know. But not everybody meshes well with one another. The thing is, you got to do what feels right to you, though, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just trying to share that sometimes I find that when people, because we talked about this before, people don't like change, right? So it's like, okay, I've asked for help. That was really, really hard. I've asked for help. Okay, now I've got some help. And then maybe it starts, after a while, it might feel like, okay, well, I'm not getting any more help anymore. But, what do I do? Like, if I've got this person now, what am I supposed to do? It's like, well, you let that person go, thank them, and find someone new to help you. That's all I'm saying. You gotta be willing to take that next. Don't stop asking for help. I figured that out in my professional life a while ago. Like, because when I first came out of college or whatever, I never asked for help for anything work related whatsoever. And it was really, really hard, and a source of a lot of stress and anxiety and everything else like that. And once I got over the fact that, no, asking for help is part of the job. I shouldn't be, as long as I'm respectful of other people's time and I find the right people to help me with it, then asking for help is good, and I learn quicker, and it's just great. That is so much better than trying to struggle continuously, on your own or with the wrong person. So don't stop asking. If you still feel like you need help, don't stop asking for help. Okay, you did it once, you can do it again. and then look where we are now, right? We're married, kids. I actually like what I do for a living, and I like the extracurricular stuff like this that we're doing together. Like, it all started with realizing that asking for help isn't a weakness. It's a source of strength, and that you don't have to stop asking for help. And there's a difference between like being needy and just asking for help. Right? Like, and it has opened up my whole world and my way of thinking, and it's changed my life professionally, romantically,
Family wise.
family-wise,
Because you
yeah.
wouldn't have a family.
No, yeah, exactly. There's just, and it all comes down to, having the courage to ask for help, and then realizing I don't have to just ask for help once and then be perfect. I can slip, I can be imperfect, and I can keep finding those people to help me. That's what we're here for. We're here for our listeners, to connect with you guys and help you. And we're all here on this planet for each other to try and help. And once you realize that, it's going to open up a world of possibilities for you. It really is.
I love that.
Yeah. So I hope that that my sharing of what I went through and what we went through gives you guys something to relate to or something to share with others. And the takeaway is definitely ask for help.
You don't have to do it alone.
No.
No one has to go on this journey alone. And, a lot of life, we focus on celebrating our wins, our successes, we celebrate birthdays and we celebrate weddings and stuff, but we never take time to honor where we're at, just where we are. Like, we just got to honor where we're at. This is like there's seasons, right? Seasons for nature and seasons for humans. And some of these seasons affect us humans a little too much sometimes. So honor yourself where you're at. And when you need help, just remember that it's okay to ask, because that makes you super strong.
And don't stop asking until you've got the help you need.
Yes. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Bye for now.